If you had to name 5 first basemen of all time, Gil Hodges would be in that number. So if you in that number, why you're not considered a Hall of Famer?
Sees what he likes and hammers a 3-run homer.
Just look at the 14 grand slams. You look at the 300-plus home runs. He was the Rock of Gibraltar.
The story of Gil Hodges is a beautiful one. He just taught me so much by example.
Hodges comes storming into the bag, trying for a triple. He makes it safe.
Howard sends it grounded to Pee Wee Reese. And these Dodgers at last are world champions.
Stats don't even begin to describe his mastery of first base.
He loved his family, he loved his country, and he loved the Dodgers.
He treated everyone equal. That's exactly who and what he was.
Hodges called for the ball.
The Mets are the world champions. Look at this scene.
What's going on, sports cards fans? Ray from Philly here on Friday night, May the 23rd. It's Memorial Day weekend, and it's also Friday night vintage. So that little snippet you saw was the Gil Hodges story, Soul of Champion. It was a great documentary that came out a couple years ago, and I highly recommend you checking that out. But this pickup this week is for none other than the 300 Great Baseball Cards of the 20th Century by Mr. Mike Payne. This here is my 218th pickup, and I've been having a pretty good year this year with picking up cards for the 300 set. It's like my 4th card so far this year. The last video I did on the 300 set was the 54 Topps Jackie Robinson. Well, in case you haven't figured it out who this pickup is, it is of Mr. Gil Hodges. Here's the card that it came in. I won it from an auction house. This wasn't from, hold on a second. It wasn't from eBay. It was from an auction house. So let me just mute myself on here. And again, this is my 218th card. I'm going to show a close-up of it over there. When I flip the phone around, read the excerpt from the book like I've been doing for 10 years. And this card that I picked up of Gil Hodges is my first card from this particular set. And that is Wilson Franks. I've never had a Wilson Franks card. Incredibly stoked to add this card. It's in a new Lighthouse holder. It's the 1954 Wilson Franks Gil Hodges in a beautiful 1.5 right here. That right there, my friends, is my first Wilson Franks card. That is the front. The back is super clean. This glare that I get when I show it in front of me like this doesn't serve it any justice. I'm going to flip the phone around or the camera around and give you a 10 times much better, closer look. I mean, people say you can't get great PSA 1s. A lot of the ones out there are some not that great, but I found some really great PSA 1s. I've been bumping it up to a 1.5 for vintage older cards like this. And you can get spectacular looking cards in PSA 1.5 from cards like from the 50s and 40s. So let's go to the set registry now and add this card to the 300 set. And I better be able to add this card to the set. I'm pretty sure I should be able to. Round and round it goes. Keeps on spinning. Nice. And there should be a scanned picture of it because it starts with the number 8. All right, so I'm on page 6 on this. I'm going to have to go back. Let's go back to page 3 because I think 54 Wilson Franks should be on page 3. And yep, here it is. So here's a really good picture of it right now. Yeah, tell me that doesn't look like a PSA. that looks more like a 2 or a 3, and that's a 1.5. That's the front. Oh, closed it out. Let me see if I can get the back here. Nope, wrong card. There's the back. Look how nice and clean. Gilbert Ray Hodges, first base, Brooklyn Dodgers. Now there is a little speck down in the bottom left-hand corner. No mark on it, but I do not care. This card looks awesome for a PSA 1.5. Love the hot dog logo on the top there. It just looks incredible. All right, so now I'm going to go over some of his stats real quick. Let's see if I could share another screen here. Yeah, I'm going to go to Baseball Reference. This guy, I'm glad he finally got inducted. It took him forever. He had 1,921 career hits, 370 career home runs, a 273 career batting average, 1,105 runs scored, 1,274 RBIs, a career WAR of 43.8. He is an 8-time All-Star, a 2 times World Series champion, 3 if you count as a manager, 3-time Gold Glove Award winner. Would have won more Gold Gloves than 3, but they didn't start the award till the late 50s. He probably would have won 7 or 8. He was one of the great fielding first basemen of all time. So I'm curious to see what his Hall of Fame similar player that they compare him to. They compare him to Norm Cash, George Foster, Boog Powell, Rocky Colavito. So he's compared to some really great players. He was on the Hall of Fame ballot, 22 ballots. Look at this, from 1969, 1970, 1971, 72, 73 was up to 57.4. 76 he was up to 60.1, and again 60.1 in 81, 63.4 in 83. So he was on the BBWAA ballot from 69 to 83. Then was on the veterans ballot not once, not twice, not 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. He was on the Veterans Committee ballot. There was no denying Gil Hodges to getting in the Hall of Fame. If you look at the Veterans ballot, I mean, 2003 got 61.7%. 2005 again, he was on that ballot for 65%. 2007 again, 61%. Took a drop in 2009 with 43.8%. 2012, 56.3%. 2022 finally made it in with 75%, and in my opinion, well deserved. So yeah, that's Gil Hodges, just an absolutely awesome fielding first baseman, a key cog in the 55 world champion Brooklyn Dodgers team, and also a great manager. He led the Mets in 69 to win their first ever World Series, went back in 73, but he wasn't the manager. He died of a heart attack a year earlier in 1972. And I think that was no disrespect to Yogi Berra, because Yogi Berra was the manager of the 73 Mets. I think Gil Hodges was just a slightly little bit better manager than Yogi Berra. And I think the 73 Mets would have had a little bit better chance of winning that World Series. There was a key moment in the 73 World Series where Yogi didn't bat Willie Mays. Now, I know Willie Mays was in his last year that year, and he was pretty old. But I think Gil would have given Willie Mays a shot in that Game 7 in the last at bat. It came down to the last at bat, and I think Willie Mays would have done something to keep the Mets alive in that game. That was the difference, I think, between Berra and Hodges. Hodges was just a phenomenal manager. If he would have managed a couple more years, he would have went in probably first as a manager before a player. So I'm going to turn the camera around. We're going to give a closer look at the 54 Wilson Franks Gil Hodges card and read the excerpt from the book. So hold on 1 second.
All right, and we're back. So tell me this doesn't look like an awesome 54 Wilson Franks Gil Hodges 1.5. And there's the back. Whoop. Crispy clean white. And this is just it's become an iconic set now. Of course, there's the Ted Williams card in that set as well. But let's go over to the book here. And I have that one. I don't have the Maze. I have the Fox. I don't have that Red Heart Musial. There's 2 Wilson Franks cards in the 300 set. There's the Campanella, which is more money than the Hodges, and then there's the Hodges. So what Mr. Payne is saying, in the 1954 Wilson Wieners, Gil Hodges, if we didn't know better, we'd say the unsuspecting Mr. Hodges is about to be bopped with a package of winged weenies, but we know better. The floating Franks added to the appeal of the Wilson set, a set in which collectors received 1 card, often 1 greasy card, in packages of hot dogs. Gil is among the most valuable cards in the unnumbered 20-card set, ranking only behind Hall of Famers Ted Williams, Roy Campanella, and Bob Feller. So, yep. I'm doing well on this set here. On this page, I have the Snyder and the 2 Ted Williams. Eventually, I think next year, my big goal is to get that Red Heart Stan Musial. But yeah, thrilled, like you wouldn't believe, to add a 54 Wilson Franks card, my first one. So there you have it. Wanted to come on real quick. Friday Night Vintage, a pickup for the 300 Great Baseball Cards of the 20th Century by Mr. Mike Payne. There's the book. The 1954 Wilson Franks Gil Hodges and a PSA 1.5. All right, guys, there you have it. I appreciate all your likes and comments. Stay tuned for more PSA graded baseball cards. Until then, like I always say, have fun with it. See you real soon. Bye-bye.